Hey y'all, what's up? It's T, aka the Texas T. Welcome to my channel. So we are going to be getting into some reviews for a couple of series that are out right now on TV. And I'm going to start with the highly anticipated season. Is it highly anticipated or did I just make that up? The anticipated season 15 of RHOA. That's Real Housewives of Atlanta if you've been living under a rock. So Season 15 actually kicked off last Sunday, so I'm going to start with episode 2. Episode 1 was, it was okay. It definitely made me want to see more, and that's the goal. I'm not going to lie, for a little bit, RHOA has kind of been falling off, and RHOP, Potomac Housewives, have kind of taken over as that girl on Sundays, okay? I still support RHOA. I still love a couple of the ladies, but it's just been flat. It's been boring for several seasons now. Y'all got rid of Nene, y'all got rid of Phaedra, y'all got rid of Portia, and now we have no personality on this show, and so it's kind of boring. But Season 15 is supposed to be the one, so I decided to tune in and also review it. If you're interested in seeing the rest of this review, please stay tuned for that. Of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Tell a friend to tell a friend about the Texas Tea. Like this video and share if you feel like it. No pressure. So let's go ahead and just get into the mess. I have my phone here for a little bit of guidance to help keep me on track so I can talk about things in the order that they happened. Episode 2 begins where episode 1 ends, at the party at Ross's 40th birthday party, where Kenya and Martell have gotten into it. First of all, why is Martell there? Why is Martell at the party? Why is Martell on Bravo? Why are you here? Okay, why are you here, Ike? What is Martell doing on this show? I don't want to see him. He already pisses me off on Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't want to see you on Real Housewives of Atlanta when you're not married to not a named cast member. So Kenya is sitting down explaining to Sheree how she received this DM from Martell. She says that it was about 6 months ago. She's not really sure on the time frame, but that she never accepted it. And now upon looking at the DM, it appears that Martell has deleted the DM, which of course he would delete any and all evidence linking him to any BS involving anybody that Sheree knows, because he wants to appear like some good guy, some stand-up guy, when we all know that he is not. Either she's blind or it's a relationship for publicity, because there's no way you are dating Martell Holt after the whole world saw how he did his ex-wife Melody, how he went back and forth between her and this side chick, this baby mama Ariane Curry. Why would you even be entertaining Martell? It's beyond me. It's gotta be for publicity, because ain't no way. So while Sheree and Kenya are having this conversation about the DM, we see Kandi and Courtney are still going at it. Courtney's still bugging up, bouncing up at Kandi, and Kandi is not having it, okay? So now everybody has rushed over after Sanya goes and tells the girls that are not present, hey, you missed it. Kandi and Courtney were about to throw down. So they all rush over. That's my dog barking in the background. Sorry if you guys hear any noise in the background at all. It's my dog, because I'm home alone. My daughter is at school and my dog is acting a fool. Kizzy. Hush, child. Moving on. So Kandi and Courtney are still arguing. The girls rush over after Sanya takes her messy ass over there to explain what went down. And now we see Don Juan has walked over. First of all, is Don Juan gay or is he not gay? Because I fully thought Don Juan was gay, but apparently in the past few weeks, some pictures have surfaced of Don Juan and some unnamed white woman who is supposedly his wife. And I'm so confused because I thought he was a wife. Anyway, child, Don Juan is over there saying how Candiana came out because Kandi is bucking up and bouncing around at the new girl, Courtney. Speaking of Courtney, really brief. Episode 1, we're introduced to Courtney. How do you guys feel about her? Because if I'm being honest, I don't like her. Episode 1, she came in when she met with Sheree and Sanya when they were doing their little workout in Sheree's very tiny ass gym. I expected her to have a really nice full scale like gym in her home, in that 40,000 square foot mansion that she living in. You got this tiny little room. Like, whatever, that's beside the point. Courtney shows up and she came in hot, okay? She came in saying how, oh, I got a friend of Candy's that said she was calling around town asking who I was, asking about me. And why you worried about little old me if you worldwide? Why you being thirsty, Courtney? Why you being thirsty? Why you coming for the OG on your very first episode? Your very first appearance and introduction to us is not looking good, Courtney. You're looking very thirsty and very messy, and you fit right in with Sheree and Sanya, because Sanya is the thirstiest of them all, okay? She dehydrated. So that is where this issue stems from, is Courtney getting with Sanya and Sheree and telling her this tea that was so cold, because that really wasn't even necessary for you to share, girl. And so now Candy is upset and saying how Courtney's bucking up at her and talking to her crazy, and she just isn't feeling it. And Candy is also bothered by the fact that Sanya reveals, okay, well, hey, I actually heard this already when I got with her and Sheree. Previously, she talked about you in this so-called issue that she has with you, and Candy is wondering, why did you invite me to this party and not tell me that there was somebody that was going to be here that has a potential issue with me, that's talking about me behind my back to my supposed friends? A heads up would have been nice. I agree with Candy. Sanya could have definitely said something, but at the same time, was it that serious? In my Candy voice, was it that serious? Apparently it was for Candy. So Candy asked Sheree how she feels about Martell sliding in Kenya's DMs, and Martell is saying that he never ever DM'd Kenya. He said he doesn't have a reason to DM her. He's yelling out about how, I don't care if I tried to fuck you 2 years ago, like that don't matter. So he tells Kenya to pull up her phone, to get out her phone and pull up her DMs. And lo and behold, Martell did DM her, even though it was a deleted message. So he says, oh, my bad, I did DM you. I totally forgot. No, you didn't. You remembered. You ain't forget. You just didn't think that she still had the evidence to show that you DM'd her. And Martell's message says something like, thanks for the kind words, or something like that. I didn't see a response from Kenya, so it looked like it was one-sided, but you definitely DM'd her. But Martell's message was from 2 years ago, and Kenya said that he DM'd her 6 months ago. And when Sheree brought that up, she's like, oh no, I didn't know how long ago. I knew it was more than 6 months. Girl, you could have said over a year ago. You could have said a couple of years ago, because you know damn well it wasn't that recent. I really do think that Kenya is trying to drag this on. I think she's being a little bit messy. I don't know if she's doing it because she don't got nothing else to talk about, but I don't know what her intentions are with this whole situation with Martell. She seems obsessed with him. And this DM, Kenya, we need you to move on, please. So after Martell shows the DM and Kenya, and he now see, along with everybody else in the room, that Kenya isn't lying and he actually DM'd her, they get into a heated argument because Martell says that basically Kenya probably accepts everybody's DMs. And if you're watching that, it definitely insinuates that she's a hoe. Or it insinuates that she's easy. It insinuates that she's easy to access. It insinuates that she a hoe. Let's just be real. Like, he tried to disrespect her with that comment. And Kenya didn't like it, so she walks up to him and she gets in his face. And she's like, did you curse at me? Because like I said, Martell makes a comment like, who cares if I tried to fuck you 2 years ago? And Kenya is upset by that and his comment about, the DMs and how she probably accepts everybody's DMs. So she's in his face. They're arguing. They're going back and forth. She's calling him a cheater, a piece of shit, everything but a child of God, aggressive, all of these negative things that she's calling him. So they're having this yelling match, and Martell and Sheree decide to go home. Kenya leaves, and at this point, we don't know where Sanya is. Child, Sanya says she spent $100,000 on this party, and we didn't even really get party. We got arguments, drama, beef, screaming matches, and I don't know, I just feel like you spent that money on that party for a reason. I don't know if it hit like you thought it would hit. And low key, I'm sorry to say, but you should have left the budget at $40,000, because that's exactly what it looks like that party cost. That is not $100,000 party, and if it is, you need to get a refund. You need to get refunds. You need to gather up evidence that that party was not worth a penny over $40,000. I'm sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it definitely wasn't given $100,000. Okay, moving on. Kenya makes a comment about Martell's behavior. I don't like what she was trying to insinuate, because number one, you don't really know Martell. And although Martell is on a reality show where he is obviously a cheater, where he has obviously, been aggressive in his tone and the way that he speaks to Melody. But I don't think that Martell is a woman beater. I don't think he's out here putting his hands on women. And if he is, we haven't heard about it. And for you to bring up the situation with Bob seasons ago, how he made light of choking Sheree, or your situation with Matt when he was being abusive to you verbally and physically, allegedly. I think that you trying to connect those situations with the way that Martell spoke to you and him being in this relationship with Sheree, I think it's bullshit. I think it's bullshit, and I don't think that it's okay for you to insinuate, to lead viewers to believe that Martell is abusive because he cussed your ass out. He yelled at you, you yelled at him. It's no one's fault that you don't have a man there on your side or by your side to protect you in situations such as these. If you don't want a man to address you and speak to you in a certain manner, then don't address him. It's not okay for you to curse at him, you to yell at him, you to get in his face, but then when he has rebuttal, when he has something to say and he don't say it the way you want it to be said, all of a sudden he's attacking you, he's abusive, he's aggressive. Okay, so then what are you? What should your actions be classified as? Because if you ask me, you started that beef. Martell was at that party minding his business. You brought up the DMs that led to this situation. So, ma'am, you are the cause of the argument, and you are the cause of your own self being cursed the fuck out. That's just how I see it. Both of y'all were wrong, in my opinion. Okay, moving on. So here is Drew. Drew is home. I was wondering when we were going to see Drew. Drew comes home from her trip to Chicago. She walks in the door and Ralph has, edible arrangements and flowers, and it's looking very nice, and the kids are excited to see her, and it's a very cute scene. I love to see Drew and her kids. Not Ralph so much, but her and her kids are the cutest. I just love to see moms loving on their children. It's just a beautiful, beautiful thing. We find out that the reason we didn't see Drew last week was because she was in Chicago with her family. Drew's father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and he's currently in a nursing home facility. She said that, he's in a wheelchair. He's not really able to remember, who she is most of the time, or who, the family is most of the time. But that when she saw him, she played her song for him that she and Ralph recently did, and he recognized her voice, and for a moment he knew who they were, and I just thought that was beautiful, and it was very touching and very sad. I cannot imagine what it's like to have a parent or a family member at all that is dealing with Alzheimer's. I'm sure it's a very stressful situation. So prayers to Drew and her family. Alzheimer's is a terrible, nasty disease, and I hope that her father is just comfortable where he is and he's being taken care of, and I hope that he's doing as good as can be expected. Child, we find out, like I said, Drew played this song for her father. So we find out that Drew has a song out on all streaming platforms that she and Ralph did together. Of course, she is on the vocals, and Ralph wrote and produced it, and it's called Already Know, or You Already Know. They played a snippet of it, and it doesn't sound bad. Drew can actually sing. I'm not going to take away from Drew's talent. She has an amazing voice, but she was saying how whenever she pursues music, her career just never pops like that. And then, I just don't see Drew becoming some, pop sensation, R&B sensation anytime soon. Okay, no shade. Beautiful gowns. Ralph and Miss Courtney are cousins. It makes sense. They both some messy liars. I'm not going to call Courtney a liar, because whoever she's speaking about, I think her name was Dina or something like that, somebody that Candy is very close with. She probably did tell Courtney that, hey, Candy's calling around town asking about you, trying to find out who you are. This person is a new member of the Housewives, a new peach holder that's in Atlanta. People are definitely gonna be calling, trying to figure out, do y'all know her? Where y'all know her from? I feel like that's normal. And if Candy really did do that, I don't think that it was messy. I don't think she had ill intent, but she need to check her friend that shared that with Courtney, because that was messy as hell. It started this unnecessary beef between her and Courtney, and I don't see that getting better, because Candy is not forgiving, honey, at all. She a lot of things, but forgiving ain't one of them. So Candy and Sanya are meeting for lunch, and we find out that Candy sent out a group text to the girls about a trip to Disney, and Sanya is the only one that responded. So her family and Candy's family went on a group trip to Disney World, which I think is really dope. And Candy speaks about getting to know Sanya better and just them building a bond, right? Next, we see Candy is complaining about being tired and exhausted and not having enough time and not having any downtime. And I don't understand. Okay, I get being this business mogul and having this brand and having this empire and this thing you're trying to achieve by building generational wealth. I get it, right? But at what point is enough enough? I mean, granted, you can never have enough money, but then at the same time, you cannot get back those moments that you miss with your family, with your kids, with your man. So what's more important? You're already rich. You already have so many things going on. You got 11 restaurants. You doing a new play every other week. You're acting like you already have so much going on. And I just want to know, when are you going to take a rest? Your own kids said you do too much. I mean, hell, when you came to Riley about potentially having a sibling, Riley was like, you ain't even here. You ain't even taking care of the one you got. You ain't even here for me. So why would you be out here trying to have another baby? Riley knew, and now Ace knows. Okay, these kids know you're not home enough, Candy. We saw Ace last episode calling, crying during the confessional, saying how he wanted Candy at home. Granted, kids do things like that, right? And it always makes you feel guilty as a mother, no matter what you're doing. But at the same time, Candy, these kids probably miss you. They probably only see your ass on Sundays. Spend some time with your kids. The money has been made, and you can take a year off or 6 months off and just be a mom. Stop trying to pile so many things onto your plate and then getting on our television screens complaining and crying about not having time for your man, your kids, your mama. It's your own fault, girl. Slow down sometime. So then we see a clip of Ross and Sanya having a conversation where Ross is saying, like, I want to be the king of my castle. I want to have some alone time. And basically Ross is saying, get your family the fuck out of my house. Get them out of here, because there's too many people living in that house. I don't know how y'all doing it. As a kid, I've been in situations where my family has lived with us, cousins, aunts, uncles. And as a child, I was ready to run away. As an adult, I will be ready to lay hands on somebody. I'm not going to lie. I need my own space. I need my downtime. And how can you get any of that when your mama, your daddy, your sister, her husband, her 2 kids are all living under your roof with you, your man, and your son? That's too many people in one house. Are they contributing financially? I'm curious to know. Is Sanya taking care of everybody and they're all staying under one roof because of that? Or are they staying under one roof and everybody is contributing to the pot? Everybody is chipping in? Like, I would like to know what's going on with that situation. I hope that Sanya really takes the time to listen to her man, because he's telling you that he wants to be alone with his wife and his son, and he wants to work on baby number 2. I don't know about y'all, but I don't know if I could hop on, hop on that thing while my mama is downstairs. Like, I don't know if I could be my own sexy feminine self that I would like to show to my man while my whole family is present under my roof. Like, y'all need your own space. I know that her brother-in-law is her assistant. Her sister is her hairdresser. Her mom was her manager. And so if you guys are financially stable, do all that shit from your own crib. For real. Because Ross tired, girl. You better listen to that man. You better listen. So next, Messy Sanya tells Candy about when she and Sheree and Courtney had met up, that Courtney took another shot at her. Basically, Courtney said that there was some event, some place that invited Candy out to come there. I don't know if it was maybe to host, make an appearance, whatever. And once Candy was invited, she tweeted for, her fans and followers to show up and support. And Courtney says the very next week, that crowd that Candy invited out was ghetto. She said it was ghetto, child. So basically, Courtney called Candy and her followers ghetto, right? You call the viewers of RHOA ghetto, because that is some of Candy's fan base. So seriously though, what is Courtney's problem? She's giving me, I'm so much better than the rest of the girls. Girl, you just showed up, okay? You just showed up. We don't even know you. Act accordingly before you end up peachless. We don't play with our OG housewives, especially not Candy. So after Sanya shares this story with Candy, Candy asks her a question that everybody should ask their so-called friend in a situation such as this. She said, when she called me ghetto, when she talked about me, what did you say? How did you defend me? And of course, Sanya lies and says, oh, I defended you. I said that Kandi is my friend. You guys should have a conversation. And y'all did. Number one, that was not a conversation. That was confrontation on Courtney's part. Second of all, you lie. Okay, production played the clip. You lied and Kandi gonna see you lie too. So I hope you enjoying y'all friendship built on lies for now. Because she will see that you lied. Matter of fact, she already know you lied. She said it in the confessional. Lies you tell. Because you did not defend her. If that were my friend, I would be like, hold on. All right, we're not going to do too much. We're not going to talk about my friend in that manner. My friend is not ghetto. Just pump your brakes and relax a little bit because you don't even know her. Why couldn't you have just said something to that effect? We already know Sheree was going to laugh because she just likes to hear anything negative about Kandi. She's Kandi's biggest hater right now. And Sanya, you falling into the trap. I think she just wants to be a part of something. And right now, she's a part of the BS that Sheree and Courtney are building against Kandi. In the next scene, we see Marlo and her nephews, and she's helping him pick out an outfit. And honestly, if I'm being truly honest, 2 episodes in, we haven't seen much of Marlo, and I'm wondering why. It's kind of boring. It's giving boring. And I'm wondering if we're not seeing much of her because she's not involved in the mess. Because last season when she was Messy Boots, we seen her ass in every scene. And now we're hardly seeing Marlo. Maybe it was a mistake to give Marlo a peach because she went from being messy to boring. And it's just not doing it for me. So next we see Todd and Kandi meeting at Blaze Steak and Seafood. They're there to taste some new items on the menu. The menu's been revamped in hopes to get a little bit more of a buzz for the restaurant. Apparently, Blaze Steak and Seafood ain't doing too good down to the strip mall, and Kandi and Todd are trying to figure out a way to get more customers in. Kandi did mention that they opened up this restaurant in a very urban area, which just means it's a lot of black people around, child. And I don't know if they fill in Blaze Steak and Seafood in a strip mall. Word on the street, it's in a strip mall in a very not so good part of town. I don't live in Atlanta. That's just what they saying on Atlanta social media, okay? And Todd lets Kandi know that he is about to open up yet another restaurant, okay? Y'all both complaining all the time. Kandi crying all on our television about not having enough time for her man, her mama, and her kids. But your man is now opening another restaurant. He didn't even tell you. He didn't even go over the plan with you. Obviously, you had no clue. He wants to open Ole G, okay? A play on Old Lady Gang, OLG, the Mexican restaurant. Then he said after that he want to open Ace's Pizza. And Kandi asked him what's the reason? And he basically says, for more money, for more coins. Why else would I be doing this? His idea is that he will open up these restaurants because he has made more money opening restaurants than any other business venture. He wants to stack his paper and use that money to fund his own movie that he's working on. He wants Kandi's full support for this movie while opening another restaurant. Y'all are an absolute mess. And in my opinion, y'all don't really want time together because y'all continue to pile on the work. Make it make sense. In the midst of them having this conversation, Kandi's cousin Melvin walks in. So Melvin comes in with his arm in a sling and they start telling him how they're about to taste test some new items for the menu. And I immediately think, there was somebody that got shot at Kandi's restaurant, right? In Blaze Steak and Seafood a little while ago. And it was a family member. And I'm like, oh shit, is that the family member that got shot? And as soon as that thought enters my mind, production appears on camera and says, hey, are we not going to talk about the elephant in the room, i.e. the shooting incident? And it's obviously Melvin who was shot. Kandi and Todd are like, no, hell no, because we have illegal issues to consider. This is still a legal matter. And so Kandi tells us that basically there was an ex-employee who came to work late, came to work inebriated, and at the time Melvin was the restaurant manager. He had to deal with the situation. An argument ensued. They stepped outside and that employee shot him. What was the argument about? What liquor was he drinking? Why do you have a gun? Why'd you come to work strapped? So many questions, but nonetheless, that's the situation that occurred. Melvin was shot. I'm sure that Kandi, has taken care of him and probably covered his medical bills and whatever therapy or anything like that, because it occurred at her restaurant and he is her restaurant manager and her family. And so I know that Kandi took good care of him, but it is sad that he had to deal with a situation like that. That's really traumatizing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how I would feel about being shot and returning to the place where I was shot at. Just doesn't work for me like that. I don't know. So in the next scene, we get Sheree and Sanya meeting up for dinner. Both of the ladies look beautiful. Sheree is a beautiful woman, okay? No homo. That's a bad, okay? We find out during this dinner that Sheree is now a grandma. Shout out to Nene. She's a grandma, and Cairo has had a beautiful, oh my God, the sweetest, cutest little baby named Mecca with some unidentified light-skinned woman. You already know how they go. Sheree is being nosy and checking people's pockets. How dare she? Nobody can ask you nothing about finances, but you can ask Sanya how much that party cost. And Sheree says, girl, what was the budget? And Sanya says there was no budget. I'm wealthy. There was no budget. First it was $40K, and then you needed to raise it to $100K. And now, girl, there was no budget. Please don't come on this show acting like you got it like that. There is not a single cast member on RHOA that can afford $100,000 party outside of Kandi. She's the only one. Ain't no reason for you to spend that type of money on no 40th birthday party, girl. Y'all could have done a very small scale party. Stop trying to keep up with the Joneses. Y'all see what's happening to Kim right now, right? All those years on TV, she pretended like she had it like that. She got it like that. Birkins and Gucci this and diamonds and $2,000 Barbie doll hair looking ass wigs, and now her house is being foreclosed upon. She owes $1 million in taxes, and her and Croy are getting divorced. Don't come on TV fronting like you got it. Kim is a very perfect example of what happens when you do. They briefly talk about Kenya and the way that she's labeling, black men as aggressive and abusive, the same way she labeled Ross as aggressive last season when she had a argument with Sanya and Ross stepped in. And I don't agree with Kenya. A man can speak to you. Stop this whole narrative of a man shouldn't be speaking to me. A man shouldn't be talking to me. Well, if you don't have a man for him to speak with, who else is he going to talk to? If y'all get into it, he has to address you. And if you don't want a man speaking to you, shut the fuck up. Stop arguing with these men. Stop talking to these men sideways and then trying to play a victim when they come back at you. If you don't have a man to defend you and you don't want to have to defend yourself against some guy, shut the fuck up. Plain and simple. Next up, we see Drew and Ralph in the studio. That was real cute or whatever. Drew sings to Ralph playing on the piano to this new song that they made together, and they're planning to work together to put out an EP. Real cute. No one cares. Moving on. So in the next scene, we see Sheree is at a warehouse where they are, it appears to be packaging up her very expensive $274 joggers and hoodies from Shein, because there ain't no way you really believe that them hoodies and them joggers are worth $274 on the website talking about some of the finest cotton. That is regular 100% cotton, the same cotton them Hanes tees at Walmart are made out of. Cut it out. $274? This is how we know you a scam artist, boo-boo. And ain't nobody buying that shit talking about we packaging up all the orders. What orders? Anybody that paid $200 and some, almost $300 for a jogger set from fucking Shein is out of their minds. They are as delusional as your ass is, because ain't no way. No way. Sheree needs to give up She by Sheree. It's been 14 years. You attempted to launch it last season. It failed miserably. Website crash. Prices are through the fucking roof. Give it up and do something else, boo, because this ain't never going to work for you. I see why you and Tyrone was together. Y'all both scammers. You and Lyrone are scam artists, and it shows with this damn She by Sheree / Shein line that you dropped, okay? So Kenya shows up and is basically talking about how she went to a Dallas Cowboys game with one of the wives that she met, and her daughter is friends with that lady's daughter. And she speaks about, some guy that she was hooked up with and how she feels young and free and she's ready to date again. And it's like, you should be, because you married that sorry ass queen 3-4 years ago. Y'all never lived together. Y'all were together at best 3 months. Y'all have been divorcing longer than y'all have known each other. You made a horrible decision in marrying that man, and the only good that came from it was Brooklyn. But now he dragging you through hell. He trying to take your house. He wants alimony. He might even want full custody of that baby just to spite you. That's a sorry ass man, and you sure know how to pick them. They've all been sorry. The history of the men you've dated on this show, sorry, okay? Every single last one of them. At this point, you're near 60. Just finish your life with you and Brooklyn and friends, because I just don't think Kenya is ever going to find a man. At this point, I'm starting to believe that it's her, because there's no way every single man at your age, okay, every single man cannot be not shit. It just, I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. It could be partially that, but it's also Kenya more. They start to talk about the fight at the party, and Kenya, as usual, isn't taking any accountability for her actions. She is blaming everyone else involved, but not taking any accountability for self. Now, granted, in that situation with that argument, was Martell wrong? 100%. He didn't have to speak to her like that. He didn't have to insinuate things like she's a hoe or she's easy, which is what he did. Let's just be clear. Sheree could at least own up to that. And I honestly feel that in this situation, Sheree is not being a good friend to Kenya, because had it been me and my man, who you said isn't even your man, that's first and foremost, y'all not even officially dating. Y'all not even in a relationship according to you and according to him. This is somebody you're simply dating, and you allow him to step to your friend and talk to her the way that he did, and you don't have her back at all. That's how I know this relationship is a fucking publicity stunt, because ain't no way any man, my man or my friend or someone I'm casually dating, is going to cuss my friend out and talk to her like that. At the very least, I'm going to step in. I'm going to separate you two. I'm going to check him. This is my friend. You are a grown ass man. You cannot address her that way, and you cannot speak to her that way. I will not allow it. You owe her an apology for the way you spoke to her. Kenya, okay, take some accountability for the way that you kind of did attack him. Y'all came together and that man felt ambushed, and he was. If it truly was about just letting Sheree know, okay, he DM'd me, girl, I wanted you to know before anybody else found out so it don't look a type of way. Why you wait until we at this party with an audience? I'm with Sheree. You saw me plenty of times. You could have easily brought up this DM, but your ass waited until we were all together under one roof and the cameras were rolling, because you ain't got no fucking storyline. Let's call it what it is. You're gonna keep up mess and drama because you ain't got shit else to talk about, because we don't give a damn about Mark, that house, you, or that hair care line that ain't selling. We don't care about none of that shit. So in order to keep your peach on this show for Housewives when your ass ain't never even had a husband, you gotta be messy. What else are you gonna do, Kenya? We don't want to just see you. And I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn is a sweetheart, but we don't want to just see you and her sipping tea and playing dress up. Okay? So I kind of feel like she has to keep the mess up, or what is her role? Because you could have told Sheree about that DM at any point. Even if you wanted to tell her when the cameras were rolling, tell her when it's just you and her and not when Martell is present, because you knew he was going to deny it. You really thought he was going to be like, oh yeah, I remember that time I DM'd you so I could fuck. No, of course he's going to lie. What did you expect to happen? So I feel like your motive for bringing this up at the party was you just need a storyline. You need something to talk about. And this happens to be that thing. Also, it wasn't even that deep. He DM'd you. So what? Big deal. It was 2 years ago. Why is that important news for Sheree? It was before he and Sheree were even a thing. I don't think if Sheree found out that Martell DM'd you 2 years ago, even if he plainly wrote, I want to fuck, I don't think Sheree would hold that against you. It was 2 years ago, and Sheree did not even know the man, okay? So they start to have an argument and go back and forth, and it doesn't seem like they're seeing eye to eye, because Sheree is wanting to have Kenya hold her own self accountable, while she's also saying that Martell needs to be holding himself accountable. They're bumping heads, and Kenya says, hey, bros before hoes. And she has a point. This ain't even your man, girl. Imagine your friend not defending you behind a sorry ass nigga that cheated on his ex-wife, got another woman pregnant, is going back and forth between the two of them and your ass too. Before this show aired, old girl was on YouTube hollering about how he was just with her, but he was just in my bed. Look at these missed calls and these emails. So this is a relationship for publicity, and you're allowing this fake bullshit to come between you and Kenya when y'all have built an actual friendship. Sheree ain't shit. We see it in the way she coming for Candy, and we see it in the way that she taking up for a sorry cheating ass nigga. Okay, so the episode ends with them talking and basically kind of, I don't want to say having resolved, but they had a laugh with the bros before hoes comment, and hopefully moving forward they can still maintain a good relationship. Hopefully this doesn't tear them apart, but we know that Sheree is messy, and what she gonna do is talk shit behind Kenya back, and we're probably gonna see it on episode 3. So that is the end of my review for RHOA episode 2. And if you are watching a show that you want me to review, drop down in the comments and leave some names for some good shows for me to check out, whether it's Netflix, whether it's Hulu. I have all the streaming platforms, honey. I am watching season 2 of a very great show called From. If you have never heard of it, please watch a trailer on YouTube and check it out. It is such a good show. It is on its 4th episode, I believe I watched on last night, so I am going to review that here on my channel. So thank you for supporting me. I appreciate you watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that like button, and share if you feel like it. Until next time, bye y'all.